Hi, folks. I'm Brian Weiner. I'm with Lauren Morgan and Holly Hamill, and we are the Supernova Society. This is ideal number 9, which is cooperate and collaborate. So why is it important that we do this? Well, we have to remember that we're all in this together, right? No man is an island, or no woman is an island also. I don't want to be exclusive. Basically, we have to understand that we're all kind of going in the same direction. And it's much easier if we help each other along, right? And there's actually some evolutionary science behind this that really kind of points that this is the right way. Loma, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, totally. So I know that most of the time when we think about evolution, we immediately think of Darwin, and then we immediately think of survival of the fittest, and it's a competition and only the strongest survive. However, this is a skewed understanding of what's really going on with a species survival, because what evolutionary biologists have been finding is that altruism plays a huge role in the survival of different species. So we've got meerkats that exhibit this behavior, certain bird species, also wolves, and many others that I'm not mentioning. But meerkats will look out for one another while one is eating. Certain bird species, there'll be a lookout that starts chirping and alerting the rest of the flock if a predator is around. And what's interesting about this is there's no benefit to that one individual that's doing the looking out or doing the warning. And it really is about saving the young and saving the rest of the entire group or flock. Wolves will also take meat from a hunt and bring it back to the pack for whatever wolves did not go on the hunt with them. And there's literally no other reason to do this but for the benefit of the other. And this also brings up the point of there is safety in numbers with these lookouts. Without having another animal or person or whatever to look out for you, you can be blindsided by things. Cooperation and collaboration also improves our energetic footprint, and it's just simply more efficient. Think about how much more nicely things run when we're doing a group project and everyone comes just ready to work together, ready to collaborate. And think about how much more difficult and how much more time it takes if you've got a bunch of people that all come in and they all want to be the leader and they all have a different idea and they all have a different expectations. And so then you end up spending half the time just arguing over what to do instead of doing it.
Yeah, it kind of is that many hands make light work kind of cliche, if you will, but it's an accurate statement, I guess. And so, that was the whole idea behind Maker Square, which was the makerspace that I owned. And it was about building culture, and it was about sharing resources. So we would get larger machinery that other people couldn't have on their own. Like maybe they wouldn't have a CNC mill on their own, or a lathe, or a large TIG welder on their own, because they're expensive pieces of equipment. But together we could get bigger pieces of equipment to do bigger projects, right? And that led us into sharing knowledge and experience. Maybe I'm a welder, but I'm not a great carpenter, and I'm certainly not a great artist. But when I built an art car for Burning Man, it was a collaborative project. I did a lot of the welding, and some other people helped me with the carpentry, but like the tailpiece was an artistic piece that was like this tiki piece that was amazing, that I would have never done on my own. But with the help of more artistic people, I was able to do something that was greater than I would have done just by myself, which kind of leads us into the arts and humanities. Holly, you were thinking?
Exactly. So this is the whole reason that we have schools and libraries and art galleries, symphonies, ways to share knowledge, wisdom, talent, information. And this is this is what makes being a human so special. This is what creates our culture. We can share, music. We can share fashion. We can share theater. And just because one culture does it one way doesn't mean that it's always the right way. We can all like blend together and learn from each other. And I love fusions. I love things that blend cultures and ideas together, like food, for instance.
Oh yeah, man, Korean tacos, I'm about it.
Delicious.
Those were my favorite. So, how do we cooperate and collaborate? First and foremost, we are all on the same team. So let's actually act like it. There's a lot out there these days that is dividing us. There's a lot out there that makes us want to point our finger at the other and say, "You're what's wrong with the world, not me." And this is simply an illusion. We are on the same team. It's called Team Humanity. Okay, so let's act like it. And then, secondly, compromise when appropriate. And this kind of goes back into last week's ideal that we did, which was all about healthy energy exchanges and boundaries. So that's why we made sure to put when it's appropriate. So we've got to compromise, but we also need to make sure that we're honoring ourselves and our boundaries with that.
Yeah, nobody likes a martyr, right? It's, you know, and it's important not to, you know, compromise your values. So it's important to stay open because we may not have the right answer on our own. And getting more diverse ideas and diversity in our groups and divergent ideas allow us to see things in a way that we might not have seen before. If we have such a homogenized group, then we might not have that. You fall into the trap of groupthink, and that isn't healthy either. So it's important to stay open and understand that you may not have the right answer, right? And that, you know, as I said, it takes a village. And you know, that's the community support aspect. Holly?
Exactly. And when you say homogenize, what I think of is harking back to the survival of the fittest. When there's more diversity, even in our genetics, we are uh, just healthier. We're more, we're able to adapt more, and we have more skills and um, internal support. So the community support is so important about this topic. Um, things like preschools or um, hospitals, things like rehab centers, you know, old folks' homes. There's places that we create in order to cooperate and collaborate so that we can support each other when we are very, very young or very, very old or very, very sick. And those things are so important. And even just something we take for granted that just feels like it's always there. Like, you know, the fire department, for instance, is an example of cooperation and collaboration. Brian?
Yeah, you know, when I was a volunteer fireman, and I did it because I wanted to be a part of the community. I wanted to be part of something that was bigger than myself, right? And you know, you also get to see this in any type of disaster relief sort of thing, which, you know, I've had experience in. But even here in Florida, where I live, basically, when there's a hurricane, all the neighbors wind up helping each other out. I remember a few years back when there was a hurricane, I wound up lending my neighbor some extra plywood that I had, and when their power came back on and mine still wasn't on for a few weeks, they ran an electric cord across the street to me. And together we were able to help each other survive this traumatic event, right? And I think that's the whole core behind what we're doing here at the Supernova Society. Lama?
Yeah, definitely. And on that note, the ways that we cooperate and collaborate with the Supernova Society. First of all, the programs that you, Brian, and you, Holly, and I have created together, they beat the pants off of any course that I would have done all by myself. I mean,
For sure.
I'm nerdy. It would have had good information, but it would have been a total snore. So and you know, all of the aspects that y'all brought in that I didn't think of, just about like the practicality of applying it in life. So we have a lot of cooperation, collaboration going on internally here, but we also like to cooperate and collaborate with you guys as well at our Woo Woo Wednesdays, our Taco Tuesdays, our book club. We're always looking for you to tell us what book you're interested in reading. We're interested in highlighting your abilities if you want to come on Woo Woo Wednesday, or if you have an expertise in something and want to talk about something or highlight a matter in Taco Tuesday. We want you to come on and collaborate with us. It is the community that truly enriches us. Without all of you, there is no the Supernova Society. So thank you all so much for being here.
Absolutely. We create this huge collective consciousness when we all work together. And so it's not just Lauren, myself, and Brian that make up the Supernova Society. It's all of you that are joining and sharing your hearts and like coming to our events and sharing vulnerably and connecting with each other, creating a network of support and love. And a collective consciousness is really the point of why we're trying to do this, because we do truly believe that we're all better than the sum of our parts when we come together.
It's true.
Well,
Just come to one of our group coaching sessions and you'll see the magic with all of us.
it really is, actually. This is actually one of my favorite quotes of all time. And it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And it's an African proverb. It's been, attributed to lots of different people, but I know it is an African proverb. And it's important to understand that like, we're not in this alone, and we do better when we do it together. Thank you guys for your time. As always, thanks for sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.